Now, what if I was to say that the elements to sustain life are natural to the planet and everything else was added later? Not by God, not by evolution, but by beings that look in no way any different to you or me. Is that unrealistic? Welcome to episode 2. Alright, now after listening to the first episode, I guess you have some questions. I'm sure you're looking for some answers. It wasn't an easy thing for me to deal with neither. It was definitely was confronting. What can I say? What can you say to a circumstance like that? What can you say to an experience like that? There's nothing you can say. It was tough. It only gets tougher. So this second experience happened about a week later. I was crossing through the same section of paddock. I was on my way home. It was just coming up on dusk. And out the corner of my eye, I saw somebody. And that's what I said in the book. I said I saw somebody out the corner of my eye in the book. And as I turned to look and see who it was, fear set in. I saw a person there that was transparent. I could see straight through him. I could see him in perfect detail, but I could see straight through him. And panic literally set in. And then I saw another one, and then a third, and I fixated on them. They were circling me, and I ran as fast as I could. I took off. I leaped over my back fence, in the back door. No one was home, and suddenly I felt safe. And I even mentioned in the book, it's strange that I felt safe at this stage because, if they wanted me, they could have got in the house. It wouldn't have been difficult. I think back and it's strange that I felt safe. I probably shouldn't have felt safe, but I did. I was in a comfort zone. 12, 13 years old, seeing something like that. I'd never seen a ghost before in my life. And that was my first thought when I saw them. I thought, I'm seeing a ghost. As I later come to understand, it wasn't a ghost that I'd seen. This was connected to the light that I'd seen. As all my experiences are, they're all connected, And the perception that we're given of a ghost, I really struggle on the perception of what mankind has created in terms of what a ghost is. At the end of the day, physical's physical and spiritual's spiritual. I can't see my physical form being prevalent on the other side after I leave this place. So for me to stand in front of a loved one after I've passed away, they're not going to see me. They're going to see a mass. They're going to see an outline of something, but they're not going to see me. They're going to know it's me because of the spirit. They're going to know the spirit of the person that I was. And that's how they're going to know that that's me. It's not because they're going to see this. They're not going to see me. They're going to see the spirit of me. They're going to understand. They're just going to know. It's just one of those things. Spirit knows spirit. I'm not the greatest communicator when it comes to speaking like this. Obviously, that's why it took me 5 years to write that book. But mate, if the book is something that you want down the line, then maybe I'll do it. I'll do an audio where it's just my voice speaking out the words of the book, and you'll get both. Now, I did do an audio book, but I did in through Speechify, so it was with a British accent. I wasn't happy with it. So I may redo that at some stage. We'll see what happens. I thought this was probably the best way to do it. Sit in front of a camera, tell your story. I may not speak too well. I may fucking, you know, get lost in some stages. But it's all there. I've experienced it. It's happened. It's just a matter of getting it out, finding the right words. I'm trying to be as authentic as possible. I don't want to be spilling yarns about something that didn't happen. I don't want to expand the truth beyond what the truth actually is. You know what I mean? I just want to get my story out. I think it's necessary that the world hears it. Or even if one person hears it. And one person goes, wow, maybe, just maybe. That's a win for me. So anyway, what do I take out of this? That as well was an experience in itself. Seeing what what's been coined into our system, classed as a ghost, was terrifying. That is the scariest moment I'd had out of all my encounters. That's the most fear I felt. There is a scarier moment coming up, but that one there, I felt the most fear out of all of my experiences. And I think it's because it's the first time I experienced that type of experience. Yeah. Say what you will. If you've had an experience similar, and I've heard of an experience called shadow people. Now I sort of coin it as that, but I don't coin it as that because I've experienced two types. That was the first type. The second type is what I'll say was a ghostly figure. There was no definition. I couldn't see it. I could see the mass. It was just a dark mass. There was no definition. There was no. I couldn't. I just saw a mass. So to me, that was a ghost. And that story's coming up. That story's probably coming up next. So. But as for this one here, no, definitely not a ghost. I mean, at the end of it all, I'll give you my. Well, I think you already know what my definition of all my experiences are a result of. But it's just a matter of you understanding it. I understand it, and I see it for what it is now. At the end of the day, there's a lot of theories out there about mankind, about what's this and what's that. The two biggest mainstream ones are religion and evolution, and they can't agree. If they can't agree, then neither of them are right. It's that simple. Because the other one don't want to disrespect the other one for saying what's what. Well, I'll disrespect them both. I don't really care. I've had my experience. And my experiences, they extend well beyond the visual. There's a lot that I'm not even going to mention. No, I'm opening the door of your mind so you can have a look. If it's something that you might look at, have a look at it. If it's something that you don't want to look at, don't look at it. Like I've said before, if you're a religious person, you follow religion, follow it. If you trust what science is telling you, go with evolution. This is my story. And, I could have kept it all to myself. But there's something inside of me that's saying, get it out. And I could have stopped at just the books and had whoever read it, but no, there's something in there. Push it, push it, push it. So I'll try this. Now, at the end of the day, this don't work neither. And my story just looks like a crazy guy having a rant over fucking YouTube. That's your perception. That's your view. I'm alright. I'm fine. So what do I take out of this, I have to look at my first experience, try and make sense of what that was, and then understand that. Look at my second experience, try and make sense of what that was, try and understand that. They have to be connected. There's no other option. And then that had me in a state of trying to make sense of life. It's like, hang on, what am I seeing here? At no stage did I feel crazy because I still had my normal thought, regardless of what I was seeing, regardless of what I was experiencing. I still understood what life was. I still had to go to work, and I still had to do this. I still had to do that. For me to survive on this planet, I know what I have to do. And I go and do it. But I also have some other stuff to go through as well. It doesn't affect my life. I can still go on and do what I do. You wouldn't even know I was going through anything if I didn't say anything. So this is me opening up to you. Whether you accept it or not, it's entirely your choice. But just I maintain I'm completely sane. What I experienced was real. And you don't have to accept it. You can watch this and treat it like no other podcast you've watched or any other strange story you've heard about, and just continue on with your life. It's fine. But I feel a need to get it out. Something is pushing me to get it out. So now I'll go back to the original statement. Is it that unrealistic that the elements that sustain life are natural to the planet and everything else was added later? Not by God, not by evolution, but by beings that look in no way any different to you and me. Is that really a crazy notion? Look at Noah's Ark, but on a larger scale. Look at how advanced we are now, after 200 years, and look at the potential of what put us here. How advanced are they? How big is their ship? Noah's Ark was fucking tiny compared to what could have been. You don't know. I just want you to think about it. Think about the possibility of something else outside of what you've already been told. Might be correct. You never know. See you at episode 3.